Welcome to part 2 of my journey across Ghana. We are journeying towards Kumasi. In our last video, you saw that we took a tour of Accra and learned about the history of Kwame Nkrumah, as well as some other great historic sites that we saw. And now we're journeying into Kumasi, and this is a really fun journey that we had together. Fun in that we were learning a lot more from Dr. Solomon about traditions and customs in the region of the West African people, right? Because a lot of the traditions and customs are of the West African region, and then you have different groups of people who have nuanced traditions and customs. We journeyed over to the Kumasi Lancaster Hotel, which was a nice hotel. I say, Marriott level 3, 4, a nice hotel. You'll see pictures in the video. And then something really fun and interesting happened at the hotel, the Lancaster Hotel in Kumasi. But I'm not going to tell you about that. I'll show you that when we get to that part in the video. I mean, it's a small world. Let's just say that. And leadership, you can't ever turn it off. And you'll see what I mean when we get to that part. But, some of the leadership lessons that I would say that I definitely thought about or came to light or even, had more insight around is being open to perspectives, right? Suspending judgment so that you can hear other perspectives, learn about other ways of thinking, right? Expand your experiences, expand your perspectives, expand the way you think, right? And that's something that definitely kept coming up in terms of a leadership lesson. And of course, back to, getting facts, getting history, really exploring misinformation, if you will, that we've been given. So, we're in the van, we're taking a journey, we're listening to Dr. Solomon. It's good, it's fun. But I want to give everything away for you. I'm going to come back and talk to you about something fun that happened at the Lancaster Hotel.
We consider pregnancy as a very huge thing and as a gift. As a gift because it is not every woman who gets the opportunity to conceive. Some even can go through the process and they can go 2-3 times and the children will die and they will decide that they don't want to go again. And it's not a guarantee that when you have sex, you get pregnant. When you marry, you get pregnant. It's a gift from God. And so when a woman conceives, she's so special and we are happy for her. However, we believe that during that state of conception, there's still a battle that goes on. To be born or not to be born. For the baby to arrive or not to arrive. It's a battle. It's the reason why some women, even at that battlefield of pushing out a baby, they'll push out the baby, but the baby will still die. There's a battle that is going on. But once the baby is born, we consider the baby a spirit, not a human being. The baby is a spirit because the baby also has the right to decide whether they want to leave or they want to stay. And so we don't name the child until the 8th day because we want to give the child the opportunity. The Lord gave us 7 days, right? And so the 8th day is a new beginning. And once it's a new beginning, now we know that this child has decided to stay with the land of the living. There are children that are born and they die. They are born and they die. And so the child that decides to stay, normally in Africa or in some parts of Ghana, you see a tribal mark on the face of the child to tell the spirit world that do not touch this one. This one has decided to stay. And so once the woman gives birth, for 1 month, in some communities for 3 months, she's made to wear white throughout. every day she dresses in white, white dresses, white slippers, white, because white signifies purity, victory, and so on and so forth. Now, on the 8th day, when the child decides to stay, now the families will come, and then there will be a naming ceremony for the child. For where I come from, for the Ga people specifically, early morning at dawn, this child is brought out to show to the sky gods, the Chochobi, and is wrapped naked, put under the roof for the dew that fell at dawn to fall on the child. If we don't find the dew, we'll put water on the roof to drop on the child, and usually the child will cry, to tell the child that this world that you've come into, the weather is not all pretty and nice. The rain will fall and it will fall on you. The sun will shine and will beat you so hard. So welcome to this world. And then now the family members will sit, and after that there are 2 emblems that are actually administered on the child. The first one is alcohol, and the second one is water. Now, if I put gin in this bottle, would you be able to tell whether it is gin or vodka? It's the same. It is to tell the child that this world that you have come, situations may look the same, but they are not the same. You should be able to decipher between what is true and what is not true. They may look the same, but they are not the same. So the first emblem we put on the tongue of the child is water. And usually the child will lick the water very fast to tell the child that this world that you have come, let your yea be yea. When it is true, say it is true. When it is black, say it is black. And then also, you cannot survive without water. You need water to survive. The next thing we put on the tongue of the child is the alcohol. Usually, babies don't like it, and they will start crying or something like that, or frown their face. It's to tell the child that there are things that are bitter, but say it as it is. If you taste it and it is bitter, say it is bitter. Don't say it is sweet. When you see something that is dark, don't say it is white. Say it is dark. And so this one will also be done. And then now we also go to the church to name children. So churches would add honey. They put honey on the tongue of the child. And it's also to signify that, the babies will lick the honey very nicely. It's to tell them that this world that you have come into, it's not everything that is bitter. We have sweet things in this world, and you need to also enjoy them, and some even add salt, which is also for preservation. Now, once this is done, they would ask the family the name they want to give to the child. The Akan group, they name people based on the day they were born. So they give day born names. I was born on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on and so forth. But the Ga people, where I come from, we name based on order of birth. The first male is the first female, third male of the family, fourth. So based on the order in which you came, that is how we give you the name. And essentially, we also like to name people, we don't just give names. We want to name people after people who have done great stuff. We believe that if you, for example, you name your child after an alcoholic in your family, or a drug addict, or somebody who goes to jail and come, your child will carry those traits. You see that at a very tender age, and he starts drinking beer. He's only 5-year-old, but when he starts drinking beer, it's more than somebody who is 30-year-old. So you named the child after something noteworthy, someone who's done something great in society. And basically, this is how naming ceremonies are done, right? And the next rite of passage is. Are there any question concerning this?
So would they need the hospital? The babies? There's no birth certificate or?
No, they do birth certificates and everything. They do birth certificates.
No baby's name.
Yes, because you still haven't given the child a name. So most parents will wait after the 8th day. When the child is named, then they do the birth certificate for the child, because then you know what to put on it. But between the day 1 to day 7, we consider the child a spirit. He's just living with us and has a right to decide whether he wants to stay or wants to go. Yeah. Then the next rite of passage is the puberty rites, and that's a rite that is performed on young girls when they see their first blood. And when I say first blood, I hope you understand what I mean. Yeah. Usually, we believe that once a young girl sees her first blood, she's already a woman. She's become a woman. The moment a man touches her, she can conceive, even if she's 13. You know. So what do? You have to arm her with information, and you have to prepare her and initiate her into womanhood, because she's entered into womanhood, whether you like it or not. You can't consider her as a child anymore, because she's become a woman. She's seen her first blood. You know. So in the olden days, all the young girls in the community would go into camping with the queen mother of the town. The queen mother would take all these young girls who have seen their first blood in camping, sometimes 1 week, 1 month, training them and teaching them what it means to be a woman. How do you take care of yourself? How do you clean yourself? How do you prepare yourself? How do you care for your home? How do you take care of a man if one day you get married? What do you do to sustain the marriage? So we'll talk to them about all these things. And most people believe that because of this puberty rites, in the olden days, there were no divorce. Now, if you pick a community, it's so difficult to find virgins. You know, because in the olden days, once you're a young girl and you have sex before your puberty rites, you are banished from the village. Yeah, you are sacked from the village. And you become a disgrace to your parents, because your parents want you to go through this rite of initiation. And they are very happy to see you. And it was also an opportunity for the young men who are ready to marry to look at the women and decide on who they would want to have as their future wives. You know. So most people believe that the puberty rite is a rite that takes place in a town called Krobo. The Krobo land is really huge on this, and most people believe that now, because of modernity, this rite of initiation is no more there, and it's even difficult to find virgins. Which house and which house are you going to go to find a virgin? You know. So yeah, but in the Krobo land they still practice it, but it's not as it used to be in the olden days. Then the third rite is the marriage rite. Yes, please. The question about the men. So there is no rites of passage for the man. You know, men are hunters, so you rather would prefer to keep your prey away from them. So give the prey more information, because the man would always want to hunt. But most men who come from very good home also get a very good talk from their parents. When you're growing up, your parents will start telling you. I mean, I specifically, my mom would always tell me, don't go and get somebody's daughter pregnant. Don't put somebody's daughter in a family where you're not ready. It's a lot of burden. So most parents would also give, because the moment a man also goes to put a woman in a family way, it becomes a family issue. If the child comes from a very good family, your parents will know. They are going to bring that young girl to your house, and you know you're in trouble. So very good parents will start giving their children that kind of pet talk. But there is no right sort of that are performed for the men. Yeah, we want to protect the women more. And I must say that in Ghana now, women are very powerful. They are very powerful now. You know, though in terms of gender equality, there's still some gap, and we are trying to fill that gap. Women are getting more powerful in Ghana. For example, the University of Ghana, which is the biggest university in Ghana, is controlled by women now. The chancellor is a woman, the vice chancellor is a woman, the registrar is a woman. These are the three top people that runs the university, and they are all women running the university. And the university is a whole city on its own. So women are getting their place in society now in Ghana. So, mommy. And the next rite of passage is the marriage rites. Marriage is huge. I mean, in Ghana, you just cannot marry without telling your parents. You're in trouble. Like, let's say I go to America, I'm on a trip, I'm single, I meet a girl, and then we marry. What? You come home and your parents will disown you. Because the marriage is not for you, it's for the family. So the family must be involved. You just can't get up and say, I have found a woman, I want to be with a woman, we have made a decision. That this decision by who? Your parents would have to make that decision for you. That's how come in the olden days, like we discussed yesterday, there is arranged marriages. And the marriage is arranged between the two people. You know, even our first president's marriage with the Egyptian woman was an arranged marriage. She didn't see the woman. Someone went there and did it. I have a female friend whose marriage is arranged. She's a lawyer. And in fact, when they were marrying her to the man was not even in Ghana. The man was in the UK. And they had to do the ceremony, and the man was watching on Zoom. Yeah, it was an arranged marriage, though he is Ghanaian, you know, but the parents decided that the two of you are going to be together, and they've been married for 6 years, and they are very happy. You see them on social media like crazily happy. So arranged marriages were there, and then that's just to tell you that the marriage that is taking place is not about you, it's about the family. So imagine mommy here, I've been dating the daughter for a very long time. Now, the daughter, we have both decided that we want to get married. I would take her home. She'll meet my parents, and her prayer is that my parents should like her. And the liking her has got nothing to do with her personality, though those ones count. It's more about her family history, which family she comes from, and so on and so forth. Now, when she takes me home, my prayer too is that their parents will like me. After meeting me, nice guy, very pleasant, respectful, everything, but they are no more interested in that. When I leave, in fact, the moment they meet me, the question is, who are you? The who are you is not about telling them about, I'm a tour guide, I work here, and this and that. No. It's not about your education, achievements, nothing. It's about your family. Who are you? Okay, my name is Solomon. Who are the Solomons? Where do you come from? So after that first meeting, and I leave, they will start going into my family to start digging. Who are the Solomons? Are there alcoholics in their family? Do they take care of women very well? Do women in their family give birth, or do they always miscarry? Are there people in their family that go to jail and come like it's just picking a taxi? What is their family history? You know, who are these people? They are digging into your family to know who really your family is. Are there armed robbers? So they find out all kinds of information about you. Once they find out the information and they don't like it, they'll call their daughter and say, Jacinta, I know you're in love with Solomon. It's not going to happen. You're not marrying him. And she cannot contest it. Once they say you're not marrying him, you are not marrying him. End of period. That's it. You cannot say, we are in love, so we love each other, we want to. No. You are not marrying him. That's it. Now, if we decide to still go on with the marriage, your parents will wash their hands off you. I don't want to see you again. When you give birth, I don't want to see your children. When I die, don't come to my funeral. You don't need to look at my face. And when an African person tells you, when I die, don't look at my dead body, you have to take that seriously. You have to take that seriously. Because if you go and look at that dead body, it has its own ramifications. I asked you not to look at me when I'm dead, and you did. So, once that happens, and you can imagine, I have only been married for 2 years, or so 3 years, almost going to 3 years. And I can tell you, you are more experienced than me. It's not easy. It's not easy. And so, now, if you decide to go with a man, and he starts maltreating you, who do you go and report him to? There's nobody. Now you're going to rely on your friends who may not properly give you a good advice. So it's important that you listen to your parents. And we have a proverb in Ghana that what the old lady can see, the young girl and the young man cannot see. Because we believe that when you bring a man home, you are in love. So you're looking at the surface, but your parents are seeing through the soul of the man. And so when they tell you this is not good, in some cases, or in most cases, it is not good. And so you have to wash your hands off it. But imagine they do the investigation and they find out that this is good. Then they will tell their daughter that tell me to invite his parents home. They want to know my parents. And they will have dinner, they will have some conversation, they will chat and get to know each other. And in that meeting, the families will now introduce themselves to each other. And that is where, when the meeting is over and we are leaving, they get to give you the list. But in that meeting also, before you get the list, my family goes with the token of drink to her, and that is what we call the knocking. The knocking. So we go with drinks for her to tell her that now we have officially introduced ourselves to you, and we are in love with your daughter, and we want to marry her. If you don't do a knocking and you cohabit with a woman, you are in big trouble, because we don't have a cohabitation. The family can know you, you may be going up and down with each other, they may know you, may even have kids with her. But if the woman dies in the cohabitation, you the man, you are in big trouble. You'll be made to marry the corpse before you bury her. The dead body. Yeah, you have to do a wedding for the dead body. You have to buy a wedding dress, ring, everything. There has to be a proper marriage ceremony where you marry the dead person before you put her down into the ground. So the question is, would you rather marry a dead person or marry a human being? And that's why we don't like to do cohabitation. So once that is done, and they give you the list at the knocking when you present the token of drinks, on the list you have things like 6 pieces of dress and clothing, like the materials you bought for sewing your dress, 6 yards. You need to buy 6 of that for the woman, because we believe that when you marry her, she has to look beautiful to follow you wherever you're going. You have to buy, same for the mother-in-law one, you have to buy a big cloth that the father-in-law can cover himself with. You have to buy sandals for the father-in-law. Your brother-in-law, you have to give him some money for keeping his sister and warding off all the men so you can come and marry her. You have to buy 6 dozens of panties for the woman as well, because you the man, you be the one to take down her pants when you marry her to do your own thing. So there's a whole lot of items that you buy, and once you finish buying these items, then a date is set for the marriage. Then you finally decide to marry this woman. When you marry, the families will face each other, and at the marriage ceremony, it's not about you, the couple, it's about the families. The families will introduce themselves to you. This is this person's auntie, uncle, blah blah blah, and all of that. Then the list that was given to you, the request for the list. Now, where is the list? We asked you to buy 6 dozens of panties. Where is it? Then you take it out. We asked you to buy 10 packs of handkerchief. Where is it? So they'll cross-check everything they asked you to buy. If there's an item missing, the marriage is not going to hold until you bring the item, or you have to give money in its stead. And once that is done, finally the marriage is contracted. Then they get to ask, who is this lady that is so expensive that we are buying all these items for? The lady shows up, they exchange the rings, and then the marriage is done. In the traditional, that's the traditional marriage. Within the traditional marriage, the man can marry as many women as possible. But most young girls have found out that they don't want that. So what they do is that when you marry in the traditional, they will still tell you, let's go to the court and sign. If you, the man, agree to go to the court and sign, you cannot marry any other woman apart from the one you have been married to. If you do, that is bigamy. The court will come for you. But when you marry in the traditional, divorce is also very simple. Imagine you don't want to continue the marriage again. Very easy. Remember the first drink we took to her house for the knocking? You just have to present me back that drink. Once I take it, the marriage is null and void. Yeah, that's very simple. And when you have disputes, when you marry the traditional, the family, everybody will come in together and try and solve the problem. Unless it's a very big problem, that's when you get divorced. But if you marry and you go and sign, it means that you have to go through the court process to go through divorce, and you know how long that one too can take and how expensive that is as well. Yeah, so basically this is how marriage is done in Ghana.
So here we are at the hotel, checked in. We're having dinner. It's amazing. We decide to go out by the pool and enjoy, a little cocktail around the pool. And one of our travel mates, who I'm calling my extended family now, she says, hey, I think I just saw the sheriff on the elevator. Now, this is a group, remember, we all come from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which is on the East Coast in the US. It's about 2 hours outside, maybe 2.5 hours south of New York City, for those of you who are not familiar with the area. So we're all originally from that area, this group. So she says, Sharon is her name, she says, I'm pretty sure I saw the sheriff on the elevator. And we're like, sheriff? She's like, yeah, the sheriff of Philadelphia, right? I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, right? So she's like, no. I know her. I'm gonna go back and see if it's really her. So she goes back in and she's like, yes, it's the sheriff. And so it's Rochelle Bilal. She is the first woman ever to be elected as sheriff for Philadelphia in the 181 history of the city. Wow, right? The first woman ever. And of course, she's the first African-American woman. She's the first woman. So we're sitting there talking about a pool, and I'm saying, okay, well, I hope she's going to come out here and say hi to her constituents, because she's an elected official, of course, and, you know, she serves the community. And of course, the powerful, impactful, elegant, and classy woman that she is, she came out to say hello, and we took pictures. And so you'll see pictures with Rochelle Bilal. What an honor, right? What a small world, right? And what a leadership lesson. You never turn off your leadership. You never know where you're going to be. I mean, across the world, on another continent, her constituents are right there in the same hotel. And she gets to sit down, talk with us, have a conversation, and this will carry over, you know, into her reputation into the city. Not only that, I have an aunt that's really big when it comes to community work, advocacy, and political activism in the city of Philadelphia. And so I text her and I say, hey, I'm sitting here, you know, with Sheriff Bilal. And she says, tell her who you are. Tell her who you are, right? And so after a while, I told her, you know, hey, my aunt is, and I am, you know. And she said, wow, you're, I can't believe it, right? So we took pictures together. You know, I said, well, I'm not in Philadelphia anymore, you know, so I can't vote for you, but I'm with you. And I, you know, said a little prayer with her quickly, you know, may the Lord keep you, bless you, cover you, and protect you in your journey as you endeavor to help Philadelphia be a better city. But wow, right? So you never, that's a big leadership lesson. That's a big leadership lesson for you. I have a friend that was in Paris actually, and him and his then fiance and now wife were getting on the train in Paris, in the beautiful train station, and they heard someone calling their names from across the train station. And he's like, I know I'm not seeing someone, you know, in Europe right now that I know, right? And lo and behold, it was a friend who he had grown up with who continued to show them across Paris, right? So you as a leader, you are always on. You never know where your constituents will be. You never know where people who know you will be. You never know when you might be caught on camera and someone will recognize you. It's not a geographic condition, your leadership, right? It's not leadership only in one place. It's leadership always, right? And so it's not to say you can't have fun and you can't, express yourself, or you can't let your hair down, but, you know, be mindful that your leadership is with you always. And like the sheriff that we saw in the elevator, you know, here we are across the world on another continent, and her constituents. And one more thing I want to note, Ghana is becoming an oasis, if you will, or a hub, a getaway, a place where African Americans can go outside of the U.S., feel connected to their home and feel safe. It's beginning to be this cultural connector, if you will, right? And I think that's great. I think it's fantastic. A lot of people are making videos, a lot of people are sharing, and probably only about 1% to 2% of African Americans have actually had the opportunity to visit, and we're hoping that more can. I think it's great as long as we understand and embrace the customs of the region and we're not trying to change who they are with our presence, right? So I think it's wonderful, it's fantastic. We just have to be mindful that we are there to respect the region, respect the culture, to embrace the culture and the traditions, suspend judgment, as I talked about earlier, and to become part of the community, not to change the community, right? So anyway, love Ghana, love this story of seeing the sheriff there. So proud of her. And again, Sheriff Rochelle Bilal, may God continue to bless you and cover you in your endeavor to help Philadelphia sustain its greatness and build more towards that greatness.
Give him something. Hold on. Come on, Frank.
Ghana! So you see, we did a little night shopping at the Lancaster Hotel in Kumasi, which was, to me, funny because they knew we were there. So we were in this van traveling, and of course the travel agents or the travel guides and tour guides know the other, know the people in their community, right? And they connect, and they're business owners. I respect entrepreneurialism. I love entrepreneurialism. I'm an entrepreneur. And so they know we're there, and they came and set up shop, if you will, outside the hotel. And after dinner, we did some night shopping, which was great. I got some beautiful art pieces, and once I get them mounted here in my living room, I will share them with you. And I think I got this piece that night. This is a one-piece jumper. I think I'm going to have like a lot of these made. So it's a lot of fabric down here. May have them put less fabric, but they're African dressmakers here in the States, California, New York. I think I'm going to grab some fabric and get like some less African prints, like maybe just white or some other kind of print, so I can have some diversity. But I love these one-piece jumpers that can twist around and do so many different things. I know many of you probably, many of my sisters out there probably already wear them. It's beautiful. But we did some night shopping. I got a beautiful coat. I just have to bring all this stuff out for you all. I'll bring it out in the next video. And a beautiful long coat. I got, like I said, some art and this jumper at the night market. And then my friends who I travel with were negotiating. They're better at negotiating than me because I love entrepreneurialism so much. I'll be like, oh, get a brother another $10, right? Because I know he's out. That's his hustle. That's his job, right? And I respect that. But anyway, my aunts helped me negotiate a little better than I would. So the night market was fun. And then we did a little bit of shopping. I kind of jumped around a little bit and put a video where we went to do a little shopping before dinner that night. And you'll see the outfit that I wore, the 3-piece outfit that I wore at dinner was from the shopping. And I took the day shopping. And I took a photo with the dressmaker there. So I love supporting the local community. I love entrepreneurialism. Beautiful items. I could have spent more money, probably spent too much money, but I intend to go back next year. So the night shopping was fun. Now, what I want to say about shopping, and you'll see a little more shopping in the other videos, so I'll probably come back to this again, at the villages and in some of the markets, it's way too aggressive in terms of how the people who are the shop owners and the salespeople are approaching you. For me and my aunts, it was way too aggressive. We had to just tell them to back off, which we didn't have a problem doing. I think that because we were there coming in like a big van, obviously we look like tourists. When we came to like the shopping village and the shopping areas, they would just run up on us, if you will, and it's just like way up in your face, right? And so for me, that was a major turn off. I just want to set up parameters next time I go, right? When I know I'm going to go see the artist because I want to buy more art, my goal is to buy more art and to be able to share it with you, mount it, be able to offer it to you. Because this is some amazing artists there. And I'm just like, I would bring a much larger budget for art next time and then to be able to share it and hopefully be able to take some of those proceeds and give them back to the orphanage we visited. You'll see that later on as well. But for me, I don't know if I would go back to the shopping villages that way again. Thank God our tour guides were with us, and so they were helpful. But I probably would set it up a little differently, where I would probably ask for people to come to me. I loved it when the dressmaker came to us, right? I loved it when the artist came to us. I think I would probably ask my tour guide or someone local to ask someone to come over with art or ask someone to come over with clothing, because to me, that was too much. And it made me not want to spend at all. And so in the future, not just visiting Ghana, even visiting other regions, if I feel like it's too much, I'm just gonna walk away, because I want to shop, and I want to support, but I don't want to feel attacked because I have some dollars to spend, which I fully intend to spend. That's why I'm there, right? So just for me, I want to set that up a little better because I want to support, but I also don't want to feel overwhelmed, because me being overwhelmed means I feel like I didn't get a chance to see everything I want. I didn't get a chance to spend what I wanted, meaning that I might have spent too much on something, right? And I just feel like I'm not given the opportunity for me to see everyone's amazing artwork and craftsmanship, because one or two shop owners are so aggressive that it makes me not want to continue to shop at all, right? I wanted some more earrings for my daughters. I didn't get a chance to get those. It was just too much, right? So for me, and especially for my aunt, it was too much for my Aunt Debbie. She was like, back up, and have some respect. So I did learn a couple of words in Twi to help me to get them to understand, to kind of back up. Like a guide me, please, just leave me, please, give me some space. And and I will say that I want to also say, in all that, the Ghanaian people are still very friendly and very respectful. So when you ask please and you use their language out of respect, because they understand English, was just respect, right? Then they did back up. But that was way too much. Back up. I'm there to spend. I'm going to spend, but I don't want to feel attacked. When we went to the spice market, which you'll see later on, there wasn't a lot of that. The ladies in the spice market weren't running to me and trying to get me to buy, but it was just, or get us to buy. It was just some instances where it was just way too much. It's way too much. And I know that if you've experienced that, let me know. And if you have a couple more tips about how to handle that next time I come, let me know, because I love the fact that Ghanaians are watching the videos that we're posting. I love that. And I love your feedback and your rebuttals. I'm a leadership teacher, so I love the rebuttals. Anytime you have culture and cultural perspectives, people are going to have different perspectives and different ways of seeing things, different traditions, different nuances, different ways of naming things, same as here in the US, right? We're not monolithic, right? We're a broad diaspora across the continent of Africa, across the world. So I love it. Keep it coming. And yeah, let me know how to handle shopping a little better when I'm in Ghana next time, because my idea is to just ask people to come to me. Too overwhelming, way too overwhelming. I want to offer you one of our really most popular tools and resources that we use here at Bright Places. Our 200 conflict resolution questions guide has questions to help you manage a conflict conversation and helps you to understand the 4-part framework for setting up a conversation and getting to resolution, right? So download it. It's yours for free. And we don't bombard you with a bunch of newsletters or offers or anything like that. It's a conflict resolution guide. You can use it right now, today, right away. Download it. My clients love it, and it's my gift to you. Merry Christmas. Thank you again, beautiful people, for watching this video. I hope you'll come along as we continue our journey for part 3. And we stop for a moment of reflection at the Slave River and learn about more of our history and our amazingly strong ancestors who persevered so that we could be here today.